So what is going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel, in which today's is probably going to be called something like Goodbye Cold War Zombies, or the end of Cold War Zombies, whatever I decide to call it, something along the lines of that, because, well, it really is the end. Black Ops Cold War Zombies is finished. After almost a long year in November, we have finally come to the end of Cold War Zombies' life cycle. DLC 4 was just released the other day. Treyarch's next Zombies experience is right around the corner with Vanguard. In under 4 weeks time from now, everyone will be moving on to that game. And so what I wanted to do in this video was reflect on Cold War Zombies as a whole now that it's finished, and more importantly, give you guys my thoughts on what Treyarch should take from this game into their next Zombies experience, Vanguard. I did a almost end of year review a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not going to go over everything again. If you want to check that video out, I will link it down in the description. But first, let me give you my final thoughts. Honestly, if you've been watching my videos over the past year, you will know I haven't been the biggest fan of Cold War Zombies. Most of that was down to the storyline, which I'll expand on in just a second, but also because of the lack of content. And what I mean by that is round-based content. Of course, if you take all of the stuff in Cold War Zombies as a whole, Outbreak, Onslaught, new perks, new weapons, Zombies this year does have a lot, but if you're someone who isn't keen on Outbreak and you don't have a PlayStation so you can't play Onslaught, compared to previous years, Black Ops 4 which finished with 8 round-based Zombies maps, Black Ops 3 which finished with 14 Zombies maps including Zombies Chronicles, when you compare that to Black Ops Cold War's 4 Zombies maps in the whole game, 4 round-based Zombies maps, it isn't much. And what really killed the momentum for me was the massive wait between DLC 1 being Firebase C and DLC 3, which was Mauer the Toten. Just going off the top of my head, I think it was something like 4 or 5 months without a map. Like I said, if you don't really play Outbreak for whatever reason, I don't, just because it's quite different from what I like about Zombies. I find it too slow, the maps are too big. I just don't really find it too fun. That's my personal opinion. I prefer round-based content, and if that's also your preference, this game has felt a little bit lackluster in terms of content. Yes, there's special circumstances. You could say Treyarch only came in halfway through its development cycle, which is true, but Zombies was developed a year and a half before that by Sledgehammer, so the Zombies mode as a whole has had 3 years of development, as always, and especially considering a lot of the assets in our Zombies maps in Cold War are taken from the campaign. Mauer the Toten is a campaign map, the starting room for Firebase C is, the whole of Forsaken is from the campaign. I know there's going to be people saying to me, Eli, Zombies has always taken its maps from the campaign, it's always reused assets, but that isn't true. Zombies actually hasn't reused assets from the campaign since the beginning back in World at War. The only Zombies maps that have ever done that was all of the World at War ones and the very first one in Black Ops, which was 5. Kino der Toten, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon, every map in BO2, so Transit, Dire Eyes, Buried, the BO3 map, Shadows of Evil, Derizen, Gorod, all of the Black Ops 4 maps, Ancient Evil, 9, of course ones like Tag der Toten and Blood of the Dead we saw previously, but those were all completely unique. Zombies hasn't reused assets or taken maps from the campaign since World at War. That was over 10 years ago. The only unique Zombies map in Cold War, and you can kind of tell, was Die Maschine. That to me feels like a proper Zombies map. But that's not to say that the rest are bad. I actually think Forsaken is great, Mauer the Toten's good, I'm not keen on Firebase C, but there is definitely something about Die Maschine where you can just tell this feels like a proper Zombies map. All of the others, to me, I can't really put my finger on it, but they do feel like they could be campaign missions or a multiplayer map, which is, well, what they are. But you have to admit, Treyarch did change them a lot. So for me, Cold War got off to a great start with Die Maschine, although admittedly, I would have liked at least one more Zombies map. It got off to a great start, but after that I felt like it just lost its momentum. And because of that, from what I witnessed in the community, it also meant a lot of people just lost interest. There was too big of a gap between Firebase C and Mauer the Toten, but when Mauer the Toten did come around and we got towards the end of the game, not too long after that map came out, we then had Forsaken. I think it's ended in a good place. It had a good start, a lackluster period in the middle, but I think they ended it well. In terms of gameplay, there's actually something about Cold War that felt more satisfying to play, or should I say kill zombies, compared to Black Ops 4 especially, but even BO3, which is considered the god of zombies, I actually get more satisfaction from killing zombies in Cold War than what I did on Black Ops 3. I don't know if it's something about the guns, the audio of killing the zombies, the sound effects. I think the overall gameplay actually feels very good, besides from the only thing I would bring back is the slide jumping from Black Ops 3, that was very fun. But when you upgrade PhD Slider in Cold War and you get the extra long slide, I think that kind of makes up for it. But yeah, the gameplay as a whole, I like. Does that really matter though? Because in our next Zombies experience of Vanguard, we are playing on Modern Warfare's engine. We haven't played the Zombies mode yet, but we have got to experience the multiplayer. Vanguard does feel a lot like Modern Warfare, so I would say expect a different feeling zombies. I personally like the gameplay side of Modern Warfare. I like how it felt. That was also very satisfying. So I am excited to play Vanguard Zombies. And the very last topic I want to touch on in Cold War is the storyline, since we've gone over the gameplay and Cold War as a whole. I am a massive fan of COD Zombies. As you can tell, I've been making videos on it since Black Ops 2, maybe even the end of BO1, I can't remember. But I've been following the story since the beginning of Black Ops 1. I remember when I was a kid watching other YouTubers make videos on it, and then I started to do it myself. I became more and more interested. I understood the story more and more, and I know a lot of people said the Ether story was confusing, which it was, but to me it isn't, and I suppose it's the same for anything. If you don't understand it and you're starting from the beginning or maybe halfway through, or there's just a lot to take in, it doesn't have to be a video game, it could be a book, any type of storyline. It can seem confusing because there's so much, there's different timelines, there's so many characters, dates, universes, but I really didn't find it that confusing. If you just read the Canorium or watch an entire storyline video, which takes about an hour, you can get a general idea. At the end of the day, it just depends how invested you are, I suppose. And for me, as someone who loves the zombie story, I think the story in Cold War Zombies, since it's a sequel, so it's not a totally new storyline, we still have old characters such as Samantha and Eddie. In Intel, we've had hints towards other old characters as well. It's not like the old timeline is completely forgotten. It's still a part of it that still had to happen in order for Cold War Zombies to have happened. And I think the Cold War Zombie story is good, but from what I could tell from a lot of YouTubers who do storyline content, seeing the amount of videos put out, and I'm speaking for myself here as well, I don't think it's as interesting, especially when I see the Forsaken ending and how many people got excited when they saw Richtofen be revealed. Spoiler. Seeing the amount of excitement one of the older characters brought back, I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe there should have been a little bit more of that. Some people will say it should be left in the past, but I say no, why not intertwine it? It's cool. So the story's okay, it got a little bit dull in the middle, but the one thing I really didn't like about it was how it was told. Having to collect, I think it's like 500 or 600 pieces of intel. I have gone and done that myself. It's taken absolutely hours, simply just because I love the zombie story, but it is unbelievably boring having to go into a game, several games at that, to collect intel to understand a story. I've said it time and time again, it's just the wrong way to tell a story. You shouldn't have to collect documents, radios, in order to understand a story. Previously, it was told through character quotes, cutscenes, and a few radios, maybe 3 or 4 in each map, but now we get about 50 each season, and you have to collect them if you want to understand the story, unless you watch YouTube videos, because we don't have a set cast. We don't have intro cutscenes anymore. The outro cutscenes that we have, like the one for D Machine, okay, there wasn't one for D Machine. The outro cutscene for the next Zombies map, Firebase C, didn't really tell us too much. The same with the outro cutscenes for the Outbreak maps. We got a little bit from the Maudertoten cutscene, especially the end where we got a teaser of the director. The Forsaken ending cutscene was definitely the best of the bunch, but they're still nowhere near the quality of what they used to be. Neither storytelling or visuals. I've always wondered that. Why do they look so bad compared to Black Ops 4's cutscenes or BO3's, or even D Machine's intro cutscene? The one major thing that has to change for me in Vanguard is the story should not be told completely through 500 to 600 pieces of intel you have to pick up in the game. A lot of people just won't do it, so you can't understand the story for yourself. The only way to fix this is a set cast, and actual intro cutscenes, and more to the ending ones as well. But a set cast is so important. Can I see it happening in Vanguard? No, just because purely I think this is a money decision on Activision's part. The operators bring so much money in, so if you take that away from zombies, if you have some people buying Vanguard only for zombies and you have a set cast in that game you can't play as operators, that means Activision are going to lose a lot of money from it, so that's never going to happen. If you think about it, a DLC pack used to cost, what, £15? DLC is now free, but a bundle now costs £20. They're making 10 times more money from bundles than from what they used to making DLC paid. It makes so much more sense for them on a business standpoint to make DLC free. That way they make so much more money from bundles, because there's more content for people to play because it's free, meaning people play the game more, meaning there's more of a chance for people to buy bundles from the store. So for that, I can't see us getting a set cast ever again in Zombies, to be honest, which really is a shame, not only from a storyline point of view, but also characters bring a lot of personality. One of my favourite things about Zombies was having celebrity casts. Because of operators, we can't have that anymore. It was what made Zombies unique, but yeah, I think that's gone now. And that's really all I've got to say. Oh, and apart from the fact that, please, Treyarch, would you remove the black bars from the cutscenes. You're taking away a third of the screen. For some reason, it makes the cutscenes look so much worse than what they probably are. I don't know why they've all of a sudden in Cold War started to add these black cinematic bars to the cutscenes. They never used to do it, so please stop doing that. But yeah, there we go. Cold War Zombies is finished. That doesn't mean I've finished with content for it on the channel. I haven't collected all of the intel in Season 6 yet. There's still so much more to explore with the story, and Vanguard is a prequel to Cold War. The two will be linking in, so there's still so many Cold War Zombies videos to make, but this was just I guess, a send-off. Overall, I think Cold War Zombies was pretty good. If I had to give you my ranking, please bear in mind this is my personal opinion. These are just my favourite Treyarch Zombies games from best to worst. I would say Black Ops 3 is first, then BO2 second, BO1 third, BO... you know what, it's hard to choose between Black Ops 4 and Black Ops Cold War. Because I'm a storyline person, I think Black Ops 4's story was so much better, but the gameplay of Cold War is undeniably better than BO4, so it depends. Do I go story or gameplay? Gameplay does make things more fun, so I'm probably going to go with Black Ops Cold War is a little bit better than BO4, but that's just my personal choice. Let me know your favourite ranking of Treyarch Zombies games in the comment section below. Anyway, there we go. Thank you for watching the video. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed. Leave a rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.